What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy the Humble Savage, and today I'm super excited. As you can see, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here, and Christmas came early because today will be the last time we ever have to drop a complete rail on a board in order to change the hub. And why, you ask? Well, the homie Matt was nice enough to hook me up with a couple of the new tech rail motor cable retainer. And essentially what this allows you to do, it's a two-piece setup now instead of one. And you'll be able to install this, and then you'll be able to unhook this to be able to drop your motor and not have to, drop an entire rail in order to do it. So let's get to breaking this board down. We're going to go up here, get us some tools, and get at it. So let's go. Alright, so we got our box of tools. I don't know what y'all keep your tools in, but I've been repurposing the Cold Ones box. Now I'm already no tools going there. And essentially we're just going to take the right side rail off. Now I'm not going to do a whole bunch of shots on how to do that if you've worked on the board at all. If you haven't, you'll figure it out. You take the bumpers off, you take the foot pads off, you're going to have to loosen the axle bolt on the other side, on the right hand side, loosen the screws that hold the rail on, and then it should fall right off. So let's get to where we're at that point, and then we will show you this new retainer. Alright, so here we are, broken all the way down. And that's the old motor retainer. One single piece. And what you find will happen is, now it's snug in place now because once you finesse and finagle it in, it will sit and rest fine. But you'll find that, like, say you take it off, you drop your motor, and now this cable isn't sitting in this perfect position anymore. When you go to reinstall it, you'll plug the motor in, and this cable might be kicking out a little bit. You'll put this on. What'll happen is you'll go to put your rail on, and this cable will be bumping out a little bit more than what it is now. It's been in position, and then the cable retainer ends up coming off. And you battle with that for a little bit, sneaking your finger up under to hold it in place. Two people make it real easy, but I just had me. So I'm hoping that the new retainer, two-piece, once we separate it, just install the one part, and we're going to put the rail back on. See how easy it is to install the secondary part once the rail's in. What I'm really excited about, these little slots too that I believe are going to be for zip ties, and you can zip tie it, and that way it'll stay on your harness here when you take your board apart, so less likely that'll lose some things. But let's get to the next scene. Alright, so we got the new retainer in there, snugged up nice. Now I will let you guys know. So with the additional amount of cable, as you can see, it S's up in there now, kinda, if you can see it. It's a snug fit in here. Like, so to unscrew this ring, and it's unscrewed now, and to be able to get this off, you remember how hard it was to unplug the plug while I was in here, so like you almost wanted to loosen a rail anyway? You might still be in that same scenario, because it's tight, like, and it's doing what it's supposed to do as far as keeping the cable in there, but as far as ease of getting the plug out, I'm not going to try to yank it out right now because I don't need to take the tire off, but I'm curious to see how easy it's going to be to get that out and then plug it back in. As we know, this plug or this cable is junk when it comes to how easy it is to break the pins in it. So the last thing I want to do is be forcing the cable back in after installing this, and then accidentally jacking up one of the pins that are in the cable. So let's get it put all together and show you what it looks like when it's all done out. Alright, for not only the sake of science, but for the sake of getting the second part on, I needed to undo the cable, because essentially it goes on here and then gets snugged up in there, and then I guess you can spin it into place. I'm about to see in a minute. But I will say it wasn't as hard to unplug it since there's cable. Like it does coil up and kink up when you push it this way. That does make me nervous though, because as we know, the hull sensor or whatever's going on in here, the hull sensors and whatnot, is very sensitive when you start pushing and pulling on this cable. So it's almost like this is they slightly screwed us over here, giving us the additional length. We acclimated to it and had a product to fix it, and now they tried to give us a fix, and now our fix makes things to, like, you know what I mean? it's just, we appreciate it. Longer cable. You might not even need retainers anymore. Only reason I would say I would need a retainer is just in case the locking ring does break. But these plugs do feel a little more robust than the plugs on the regular GT. So I would hope that you wouldn't have any issues. But let's get this on here. So we've run into some issues, right? And I don't know if it's because of the fact that one wheel did give us longer cable now. So, you know, this is more set up for a regular GT probably, where the straight cable will lead right through. So you might get more room to be able to rotate it around. The issue now is when you put this on, because it has to go on this way to be able to screw in. When you put this on the cable, like if it were being positioned, now you got to be able to rotate it around, right? In order to be able to get it to lay over there. And when you go to rotate it around the cable, it will not rotate unless you put extreme force into this wire to pull it this direction in some fashion. Which would then like put unnecessary torque on this to then like jam it in there. It's not going in smoothly. So I'm about to go get the Dremel and do some Dremel work on one of these to see how much I need to take off on this butt side to actually be able to fit. But yeah, so I'm about to go get the Dremel and work on this, and let's see if we can get it to be able to fit on there and then just be able to rotate into place like it should. Alright, so after some time on the Dremel, we're going back to the regular retainer, and we're sending a message over to Tech. Because the issue is, once you install the first half behind the rail, you put the rail on, the second half, it's supposed to be able to rotate in behind it, but it's too bulky to rotate in behind the rail. And it causes you to put too much force, and so much force that you'll break your locking ring. So let me be the sacrificial lamb for you guys, not to try to do this with this new retainer. So I ended up sacrificing one. I said, you know what, I want to get this to work, so then that way I can send it to Matt and let him know like this is what needs to happen. And off that one part so far, I've dremeled off this much in comparison. Damn it. What if it was a leak? It's probably not a good back. Hold on, put some white up there for y'all. So yeah, I've dremeled off this much. Up here, as you can see, it's further in because I was trying to come away from the rail in comparison to this one, and then I rounded and tried to round out this side to make it, you know, less pointy, because essentially once you put it on the wire and you start to turn it, you're trying to turn that square corner around through the rail, and it just was not going. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just force it to see if it'll go. I did that, heard it click, and yeah, this is broke. So back to the regular retainer. It will work as a normal retainer. I will say that it does work as a normal retainer. You keep it in, but you still got to drop your rail. As of right now, I don't see this being able to be installed or uninstalled once you install it without actually taking your rail off still. So hopefully we'll have another future video on these. As of right now, in my book, these are not exactly what I was hoping for. So anyway, alrighty guys, so after sending a few messages, after doing what I did, I got some insight and finally know how this thing is truly meant to function, right? So this is the most crucial thing. The way I thought it was supposed to function, to swivel into place, it's not. It essentially like slides into place as one unit with the plug. Don't have video footage of that, but the most crucial thing to know is this. So like when you're taking your board apart and you want to drop the tie, in order to get that plug to pull out the way that it needs to be, so you got calipers off and everything, and you're at this point. You're gonna have to do not undo these plates. You must keep those on, and you're gonna have to take your axle bolts out. That way your entire wheel and hub can slide back and forth in the rail. That's gonna give you the ability to pull it back just a hair, giving you some slack on the left hand side to then be able to pull that plug straight out as one unit with the little retainer part that'll be connected to it. Unfortunately, I don't have any clips of it. Matt put a video up on Facebook. I don't know if you guys are on the Woman Owners group on Facebook, but go check it out. He put an explanation on there, and if I can, I'll see if I can get some footage or get the okay to use the footage he put up in this video. But if not, that's the biggest secret you need to know. You cannot undo these plates. Once you get to the point where everything else is off the board, you're going to take the axle bolts out. Allows you to slide it back a little bit, which will allow you to unplug that plug. So there you have it. Until next time, stay humble, stay hungry.